Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 183. It's good to be back.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back.
I'm joined this evening by my co-host, Morgan Harfell. Good evening, Morgan. How are you?
Hey, Matty. I am so good, man, and I'm so stoked to have you back on the show. That other fella was irritating as anything.
No, well, hold it.
I'm joking.
Incredible job.
I'll tell you what, he's an absolute sub-in. It was so good to actually sit next to someone live in studio and be able to do across the country. Having someone next to you is pretty amazing.
Absolutely, and look, I thank you so much for stepping in for the couple of weeks that I couldn't make it. I have been away. As you'll recall, I was quite ill in the last episode that I was on, and then I flew to the UK and went on a bit of a holiday down to Devon to see my mum and my grandparents and other family, and that was real good. So the kids got to meet all of the UK family for the first time, which was fantastic. And yeah, just had 2 weeks of just not being at work and not all the stuff that you normally kind of switched off a little bit. So it was pretty good. Really good.
Are you back now? You're off holiday mode. You're back in the zone, ready to hit the show ground running.
Yes, I wish my jet lag was perhaps a little bit less. I've been back a couple of days now, so it's not too bad. But yeah, we got delayed at Heathrow for 2 days, so that was frustrating. And then
I hope you got out of the airport in those 2 days.
Well, we did, but only to a hotel not very far away. So yeah, it was pretty frustrating. But we got back in the end. And what I can say is, if anyone's done that flight to the UK, right, the Wellington or Auckland or Christchurch or whatever to London or somewhere in Europe, okay, if you've done that flight and you know which one I'm talking about, there's normally 2 big flights. You get to Singapore, Dubai or whatever, and then you get the next one. If you've ever done it with, what I can say is, it's such an easy flight if you don't have a 7-month-old and a 4-year-old. So now I've done it with kids. Doing it on my own, piece of piss. This is really easy. So yeah. So anyone who's thinking about doing it and doing it on their own, then you go for it, because it'll be it's dead easy. If you're thinking of taking your kids with you, then yeah, just be a bit prepared.
Good luck.
Indeed. Anyway, we've got a bit of a jam-packed show today because I have been away for a couple of weeks, and then last week we were all off for reasons, and so we've got a few things to go through today. So we're going to go through hot scores to begin with, and then we're going to go in our guest. Yeah, we're going to go hot scores first.
All right.
We're going to. Are we okay? Sorry, we're going to speak to Olli first, and Olli Simonsen it runs Ocean Discs, and they've produced. I'll let him explain. They've produced some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, they're available in New Zealand, and we'll be talking to him about how that's come up. Morgan's just pointing to one there. Then we're going to go through hot scores, and then we're going to go through the results of previous tournaments. We're going to have a look at the Flight Park Open preview. I'm going to do a bit of Discdle. We're going to do some Disc Golf Valley. There's a code above my head, I think, floating around, so get yourself on that. We're going to look at some upcoming events. There's heaps more events been added to the calendar since last we went through this. We're going to talk about power rankings, and there's a few other bits and pieces that we want to talk about as well. So pretty packed show. So yeah, let's get into it. Our guest this evening is the owner, CEO, general manager. I don't know. I'll let him introduce himself. Olli Simonsen. Good evening, Olli.
Euro guys. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Very good.
Good afternoon. We are very well, and it's so good to see you again, bro. It was good to see you in the green room, and I had to hold off because I really wanted to have a chat. I go back a long way, all the way back to when I think both of us started disc golf, and I haven't seen you in a number of years. So I'm absolutely.
Thank you for having me on, guys. It's a pleasure. I look forward to talking a bit more about Ocean Discs. But yeah, we met about 10 years ago, 2014, I think it was, in Queenstown. That's where I started playing disc golf. And I lived out in New Zealand for about 2 years, and started playing with the local Queenstown club, some national events around New Zealand. So yeah, that's sort of where I started playing disc golf.
Wow. So Olli, we met 10 minutes ago. So very, very different. And you're, so where are you now? Where are you based now?
I'm in London, UK right now.
Right. Okay. And you look like you're in a retail shop or something that's similar to it.
So when I came back from New Zealand, I started London Disc Golf Community, which is started as an events company doing events and competitions, and then during lockdown it transitioned into a retail store where we now have lots of different brands on sale. We sell mainly online, but also a little bit in person. We're based at Horse and Hill Activity Centre, which is an outdoor activity centre which has a 18-hole disc golf course in West London next to Wembley Stadium. And yeah, we've got a team of players around the country representing London Disc Golf Community. And then it was at the end of, well, it's been about a year now since Ocean Disc started, all going out through the same location at the moment.
There's a lot of information to
and it
really crunched down into this little ball. I love it, man. You seem to have done so much. What year did you say you started the London Disc Golf Community? I didn't realize it had been that long.
Well, so I came in New Zealand from 2014 to 2016, and then end of 2017 is when I started London Disc Golf Community. We ran our first event down in Croydon as a Discraft Ace race, and end of 2017, and then we did one or two in 2018 and a couple more in 2019, and then obviously lockdown, couldn't really do events anymore, and then there was suddenly a demand for, everyone wanted to buy discs, so then we ended up just buying one box, and then it sold out, and buying two boxes and sold out, and then buying four boxes, and then we got one rack and then two racks and three racks, and it kind of blew up in a matter of a couple of years. We have started to see the disc sales, I guess, go back to normal, if you like, after a few years of post-COVID, and I guess that leads on to Ocean Discs, of starting to make our own discs and trying to target other audiences other than the UK, such as, well, we've got retailers in New Zealand, we've got them in Austria, Sweden, Norway, a few in the UK, Canada, and the US.
Wow.
Morgan one on the screen there.
Morgan's got one there. And actually, we're doing, this is a bit of a surprise. It was a surprise to me earlier on. We're doing a giveaway tonight, right? And the giveaway is for the disc that Olli is holding now. And I've got to get this right because I was sent this earlier on, the exact kind of naming of it. Let me find it.
You tell me.
It's a limited edition, one of a kind, transitional Ocean Discs Pacific Sea Turtle. There we go, made with 60% ocean waste plastic. And what you need to do is, if you want to be into the draw to win this, then you need to put in the name of the mold of the Ocean Discs that Olli was just holding up. It will be mentioned several times on today's stream, but you need to put that into the chat and you get yourself in. Patreon members get extra entries, as you may know. But you only need to, if you are a Patreon member, you only need to put your name in once, and producer Tom will sort out your multiple entries. So yeah, pop that into the chat. Olli, just hold that disc up for us again.
So this disc is a transitional, I won't say the mold, it's a transitional disc. It's got a bit of a halo or orbit effect around the edge. And from all the discs that we received, this was a one of a kind. So I thought it'd be appropriate to give it away to one of your viewers.
Amazing. Thank you
That's
so
fantastic.
much.
And when you say transitional plastic, right, for people who don't make discs or like maybe a little bit less experienced in the disc manufacturer process, what does that mean? How's that? What's going on there?
Great question. So when you have when you make disc golf discs and you want a pink one, you have pink plastic that goes through the injection molding machine, and then when you change it from a pink one to say a blue one, then there's obviously going to be an element through mixture in between. So there might be a purple one, and some of those we call them transitionals because it's transitioning between the pink color production and the blue production. So the transitional ones will be purple, lighter pink, darker pink, turquoise, and so on. And what's happened with this one is that it's ended up being a darker yellow in the rim, giving a unintentional halo effect. So it's not by design, which is why we call it transitional.
Yep. Now, Matt, you just said to some people that might not have the knowledge or experience or something along those lines. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Me? No.
That's why that's what I mean. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's the first time I've actually heard that out loud and portrayed that way for me. So I had no idea that's what you'd call a transitional disc color or colored disc.
So Olli,
sorry, go on. Most manufacturers, they don't release transitional discs to the public because it's considered a factory second or an imperfection or not the desired product that was intended to go out.
Yeah.
So it's
which is
somewhat rare.
It's quite strange that, isn't it? Because I've found that some discs like that will go for more on the second-hand market, right? Because of their rarity. And maybe it's the manufacturers get, people who work for the manufacturer are like, oh, I'll just put these to one side and then flip them later. But I don't know. But your discs are slightly different, right? Or slightly different from like the norm in that they're made in part with ocean waste, hence the name Ocean Discs. Talk us through that and how that process works. Because that seems like a very, that sounds like a lot of work. But how does it work? What happens?
So when we decided to make our own discs, do we just become
disc golf manufacturer?
another disc golf manufacturer? Do we just make other discs like everyone else? There's no USP for us. There's no USP for us, and we just and just make this and just make this and have cool stamps and cool colors on social media. And I didn't really believe that was going to be enough to stand out from the super high competition. I don't know if you know this, but I think there's around 250 disc golf manufacturers worldwide. So there's a lot of competition, and you really have to stand out somehow. Obviously, well, it's not obvious, but when I was I'm originally from Denmark and born in Denmark and was brought up on the coast, on the beach, and went to the sea every single day and loved swimming in the ocean. And when I was in New Zealand as well, I would go to at least when I first got there, we would go to go swimming in the sea. And I think also this aspect of we're obviously in a plastic production, and there's a big problem with ocean plastic waste. So it's something that we can't really ignore. It's a problem that's happening, and it's only getting worse. And there's lots of conservation efforts, working hard to reduce it. But even though they take tons and tons of plastic out, there's still more being put in. So it kind of seemed like a no-brainer to research and look into options to use recycled plastic, and why not reuse the plastic taken from the ocean and have that as part of the name.
And you you're giving back to the community, not the community. I'm reading it over here. You're giving back to the Marine Conservation Society as well. Partial part of every disc sale.
Yeah, so we wanted to, help in some sort of way other than just using ocean waste plastic. And we're based in the UK. The Ocean Conservation Society are based in the UK as well. So it made it easier for us to partner with them. We want to obviously get more involved with them as we grow and become a bigger company. But as we start now, there's obviously not too much interaction for now, but we hope that that's going to change in the near future. Yes, we'll be donating money to them to help their efforts in cleaning up the oceans.
That was going to be my question. Are they the ones that are cleaning up the oceans? You're getting your plastic from them, and then it's coming full circle.
No, is the answer to that.
Okay.
No. So it's no secret that we get our discs manufactured and produced in China. We published that on our website. We did look at manufacturers in the UK and in Norway to try to get the production done closer to home, but it was outrageously expensive. It was just not possible. In the UK, it was going to be really, really expensive and basically not possible to retail to other companies at all. So I'd have to then sell direct only, which is not really viable for a business to grow and expand. In the manufacturer in Norway, we spoke with them. They seemed keen, but they had, I think, about 4 or 6 of their own molds at the time. So a relatively small manufacturer growing and getting bigger. And we didn't really want to end up in a Discmania sort of situation if we were to have another boom and a big popular demand. So we wanted to have wanted to go with a bigger partner that was also a bit more affordable. And we've been speaking to a Chinese manufacturer that does manufacturing for loads of other disc golf companies in the US. I obviously can't say who they are, but they are reliable. They've been doing it for years and years and years, and their capacity and volume and scale and professionalism is just unmatched by the 2 companies that I looked into.
Well, I can tell you the quality is outstanding, especially in this plane. This is the only one I have right now, but the quality it's outstanding. I'm pretty stoked for you on that one, man. That's as soon as I got my hands on it, I just went, wow. Said to Mikey in the shop, I was just like, wow, man, this is incredible, and I hope it flies as good as it looks. I posted that because it's what I truly felt. Yeah. It does. Flies great too.
So how do you get so that's 60% ocean waste? So there's a couple of, I think we've got a question in the chat about the 60%, which perhaps you can touch on in a minute. But how do you get all the plastic you need? Because no one, I mean, you're not going down the beach combing up a load of drinks bottles and then sending them off. How's that process working? How do you
sure.
Especially if it's manufactured in China?
So the short answer is any plastic manufacturing company have plastic they source plastic from plastic manufacturers or plastic distribution companies that make different color plastics, different types. Let me show you this 1 second. And they look something like this. Little plastic beads.
I think I've seen those pellets on the pictures that sometimes manufacturers put out when they,
they're on his website too, actually.
Yeah. So we've got so basically all plastic manufacturers that make any sort of plastic products, they'll buy small plastic pellets like that, and they can be virgin plastic, they can be recycled plastic, and they can be plastic from the ocean, ocean waste plastic. So we have managed to source ocean waste plastic, or rather the manufacturer has been able to source ocean waste plastic. And the reason for the 60% specifically is simply due to the density of the plastic. So because it's a new plastic the manufacturer hasn't used before, and because it's recycled, the densities might say it's 1.2, for example, but it ends up being 1.3 or 1.23, which makes it heavier. When you get your discs designed, and it needs to send it off to the PDJ for PDJ approval, based on the dimensions of the disc, allows for max weight. So with having a variety or variety in the density of the plastic, making it heavier than what the PDJ limit allows for, then it wouldn't be illegal to use in PDJ competition.
Sure. Yeah, because you've got it's a grams per millimeter, isn't it, or something like that? Diameter, is that right?
Something like that.
Milligrams, micrograms probably per millimeter. Oh goodness.
But yeah, so basically it comes down to the plastic being too dense to do 100% ocean waste plastic. So obviously our goal is to have the next mold be 100%, and you do that by designing the mold to be, say, 160, be a little bit heavier due to the heavier plastic.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it comes down to basically lack of experience, lack of knowledge doing your first disc. So we made this disc, estimated the density would be this much, send it off, and then actually with the unknown density of the plastic being a little bit more, that would, if you used all that plastic weight, it would then be 175. I've actually got a couple of discs here. 1 second. These are some sample prototype glow discs, which are 181 grams and 182 grams. So these are above the PJ weight limit, so they wouldn't be legal to use.
But that also gives you a bit of flexibility, right? Because it means that you can produce discs of quite a wide-ranging weight, which is great for some throwers. Personally, I love to throw a lightweight driver, especially, and so that sounds like it's actually going to work in your favor.
I believe so. Again, I'm no specialist when it comes to it. I'm learning as I go. And the first mold was intended to be a mid-range max weight, and that's what it came out to be. It's a little bit more stable than intended to be, but that's fine. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second. But I think learning those lessons along the way means that for the next mold, we can take the density of the recycled plastic into consideration, and anticipating it's going to be heavier than this one, and accommodating for that for the next mold, being then able to have 100% ocean waste plastic for the next disc.
Yep. Was there any reason why you went with the mid-range, or just, is there any specific reason, or that's just what you went with?
I think it's the disc that most beginners start with. If you haven't played disc golf at all before and you just buy one disc, most people give you a mid-range, and it'll be a buzz, it'll be a fuse, it'll be a hex, it'll be a rock, it'll be something like that. Yep. That's generally one mid-range. That's fine. Throw it, learn it, get used to it. If some beginners or some people recommend a starter set, and here have a putter, mid-range, and a driver, and off you go. From my experience running London Disc Golf Community as a retail store, that can be able to be like, when do I throw which one, and which one does what, and when do I use the putter, and when do I use the driver. And so that's partly why we chose the mid-range, so that if someone comes in, they can be like, well, choose one of these, here you go, start with this. It's gonna, which is a little bit more stable than is anticipated, but again, personally, I don't think that's an issue for beginners, because it makes it more reliable, more consistent, more. Whereas if it's quite unstable, you might get a bit more distance as a beginner, but then sometimes it flips over, sometimes it's biased, and then it can be a bit frustrating to not really know what it
Yeah,
is.
for sure.
So
Yeah, for sure. At least you know it's going to go to left if you've got a more stable disc, or right if you're a lefty. So you have got plans to go into other molds. Are you going to go
Yes.
one at a time, or are you going to go just do a whole variety? Basically, I'm asking, how much money am I about to fork out in the next X amount of months to years?
Well, disc golf molds and research and development is really expensive. So it's probably going to be one at a time until, quote unquote, we've made it, where we're able to do 2 or 3 at the same time. So it's probably going to be, one at a time. We're going to see how well our existing stock of the sea turtle sells. And then we'll be able to use those funds to start the mold and design for the next disc. We're starting to get more and more retailers on board. I think we've got over 20 now worldwide in 7 different countries. So you'll be able to get your sea turtle in New Zealand and in loads of other countries as well. And as more retailers come on board and more people start throwing it, obviously we'll be able to sell more discs and then be able to start designing more molds with the funds made from that, as well as obviously giving back to Ocean Conservation Society as well.
Fantastic.
So that's brilliant. It's brilliant that you've got the in mind that isn't just shifting stock and selling more discs. I think that's fantastic. The stamp that you had on that white one that you were holding up there looks a little bit different to the other ones that you've got in the background. Did you say earlier that there was, or it might have been in the green room, that there was different plastic types that you had?
So we've got 3 different plastics. So this is our ocean waste marine, which is 60% ocean waste plastic. It's our baseline plastic. It's my personal favorite. It's very grippy, feels great in the hand, and I can't wait to get this plastic in a putter mold, because for me this is perfect level of grip, stiffness, kind of firm, has a little bit of give to it on the thumb track when you push the thumb down for that putter. So for me, I'm really excited to get this in a putter mold. And this is our baseline plastic. We have marked this as a 5.5 -1.1. And out the box, it's definitely more stable than that. But from the prototypes that I've been absolutely mashing and beating in and been throwing and testing, it does start to turn like any other baseline plastic would. It would wear in, it would bead in. And I am, well, we'll talk about this in a second, but I'm 160 rated for the PDGA, so I can throw a good 100 meters, and for me this just goes nice and straight with a little to no fade at the end. It probably has a nice reliable fade, but it will turn just like a -1.1 would. Just touching on the other plastics here, we've got the Pacific ocean waste plastic here, also 60%. This is our premium blend, very soft, very gummy, feels really nice in the hand, and it's opaque, I believe the word is. It's not see-through. And then we've got our Atlantic plastic here, which, for clarification, is not using ocean waste plastic. So we've made it clear by putting it on the stamp itself. So it says here 60% ocean waste plastic on the stamp itself, and then this one here says Swirly Atlantic, but doesn't say it here. So we've tried to make it as clear as possible on our discs. And this is our sort of clear, swirly plastic, Swirly Atlantic.
Fantastic. Excellent. And you can, but just before we get on to where you can get these in New Zealand, I just want to talk about how they fly. Morgan, have you thrown yours yet?
I have. It's so mine was, and I just said before, I don't think you were actually in the green room. You were off getting changed into your lovely shirt there, but really straight out the hand. I was probably throwing it out to about 75, 80 meters. At Flight Park, a little bit of elevation, really straight, but then quite a lot of fade on this one here. I would put this in the category of somewhere in the realm of 2 to 3 fade in this plastic right now.
Okay.
But that also was, I wasn't playing around. I just had it with me while I was setting up the course, and I was having throws here and there, so I wasn't in the zone.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And Ollie, is that how you see them flying as well?
I would disagree. No. So when we had the premium prototypes here, and we got a clear one and a opaque one here. These are prototypes that we've been testing. They were nice and straight and had some fade, and we definitely tested these against several other molds, which were a 5502, which had more fade than these did. Now, that's not to say that brand new out of the box, they're not a little bit stable. Yes, that can be true, that they are straight and has some finish. But again, the flight numbers are subjective to arm speed.
Yeah.
And
I need
distance.
to caveat this by saying most people that have ever played with me know that even my flat game is still a Heiser game. All right. So take that as you need to.
I think I might need to get one of these then, because that would probably be in the same spot as my anchor, I suspect. Yeah, I've got a very slow arm, so I can imagine it would fade more for me. But yeah, I suspect
it has what I would describe as a high-low arm speed fade. If that makes any sense. So it's very torque resistant. So if you can throw 500 feet, which not many people can hold, and go nice and straight for them, it wouldn't just dump over and fade back. So it will hold. Yeah. It'll hold the line regardless how much power you put on it, and then still fade a little bit at the end. And obviously, if you don't quite have the 500 feet where you got 300 feet or 250, then obviously it's going to have a little bit more fade at the end there. And
definitely closer to 250.
When we tested it, and we had quite a few of the local players come out and try them to sort of help me get an understanding of what the flight numbers would be. It's obviously, again, subjective to, how far can they throw? Do they throw backhand or forehand? Do they throw uphill or downhill? Do they throw flat? Is there wind? And at the end of the day, it's kind of, you have to just sort of make a decision and stick to that. And
I think it's interesting because it highlights, and perhaps people don't appreciate this to quite the extent, but flight numbers are basically made up by the manufacturers based on whatever they think feels right. Is that more or less, with the exception of the speed, which is related to the width of the rim, but everything else is pretty subjective, right?
Yeah. What you're saying is correct about the width of the ring. The wing is true as well. That does indicate mostly about the speed. The diameter also has an impact. So most mid ranges will be 21.7 mil. I think this one and 21.6 off the top of my head. But yeah, most mid ranges tend to have a wider diameter than most other discs, putters, and drivers. So that can have an effect as well. But yes, manufacturers tend to basically make it up. There are companies such as Lift Discs and other companies that use flight path simulators, where they basically take the shape of the disc and then, depending on how much spin and torque and power, it can then generate a path, and then again, I guess, decide what that flight number means. So
I mean, it's so difficult to come up because there's I mean, I could probably think of about 8 different factors which affect the flight path of a disc, right? So and that its mold is one of them, and so yeah, it's real tough to.
I think the main one is human ability. Some people have got low arm speed, some people got high arm. If you throw 200 feet or you throw 500 feet with the same disc, it's obviously going to fly differently. And those two people would say that it's got different flight numbers. So there's that element as well. I mean, you see some companies have flight charts of low speed, medium speed, high speed, and it's got different paths.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I've thrown.
Well, you know what people are going to have to do.
Oh, sorry,
and
Matt. I was just saying I've thrown this maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 times. That's about it. But I'll promise you, I'll throw it in this weekend's tournament. We'll just send it. I reckon I'm going to get a few birdies with this thing this weekend.
I hope so. Well, there is one way that people can find out how they fly, and that's to get hold of one. Now, they are available in New Zealand. There are 2 retailers, I believe, in New Zealand which stock them, which is NZDSS and Small Planet. Morgan, you got yours from the shop down in Small Planet in Queenstown.
I did. I don't even think they'd made well. They hadn't even made it out of the box yet. That's how quick I was. Because Queenstown got the... Ollie, correct me if I'm wrong. Queenstown got the first release worldwide?
Yes. Yeah.
First retailer release, I guess.
He kind of twisted my arm and said, "Come on, Ollie, 2 o'clock is midnight here. We can't release them at midnight, so can we do a little bit early?"
That doesn't sound like something Iran would do. Hey, but it's very fitting though, right? Because this is the place where you started playing disc golf. I think it's truly fitting. It was perfect. I know I'm stoked that I got mine that early, but I think it was the right thing to do. Unless it was in your hometown where you are right now, then I think that's the right shout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to have a word with Leon or Iran and get him to send me out one. I think
Leon's in the chat. Leon, can you get one wrapped up tonight for Matt, please?
I'll sort you out, Leon. I'll send you a message later. We'll sort something out because they do look fantastic. So yeah, and I'd be interested in that spot in the bag is an often used place as.
Which one did you think you would go with? The base, the middle one, or the premium?
Now, so I'm slightly different to what Ollie was mentioning. Actually, I don't like throwing base plastic in anything other than putters.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't know. I just don't like it. I really like the premium plastic, the gold plastic out of Latitude, and the Pacific looks the most similar to that. I think so. Yeah, the one on the right looks the most similar. So I mean, maybe I should get one of each. And
that's a good idea.
Both out. We'll see.
We've actually been talking to NZDSS about potentially wholesaling and distributing with them so that they can reach out to more retail stores to help cover the shipping, import, entry fees. But obviously, it's a bit tricky for them to commit to a large order when there's only one mold. Yes, there's 3 different plastics, but it's still the same mold. So it'll be easier for us to do that once we have 2 or 3 or 4 molds under our belt, and then it's more worthwhile for them to have a large order come through and then have more options.
Now the Sea Turtle's launched, are you working on the next mold, or are you taking a bit of a break and seeing how this goes, or what's the kind of plan for the short to medium?
So are we taking a break? Absolutely not. No, we're all guns blazing. We, like I said before, we do want to send out some more discs and raise a bit more money before we start the process of designing the mold, creating the mold, getting samples made, getting samples sent over. You know, that process is quite expensive, and I want to make sure that we have enough funds to do the whole thing rather than just start and then, okay, we got the design made, we got the mold made, but there's no money to actually get the samples to me.
Yeah.
So we'll get the samples. This is amazing, great, but then there's money to actually make a production run. So it comes down to money at the end of the day, and just want to make sure that we have enough to be able to do the full process again. So whether we do another Kickstarter, ideally not, but maybe, or we work with our retail distribution partners to pre-order and give them some sort of incentive like free delivery or something, put the money together. But I think with the stock everything after only just a week, I mean, it launched on Friday last week, and we're already having retailers reorder already. So it's a great sign to see there's demand for this disc and people are liking it. We've got loads of retailers in America, which is obviously, without question, the biggest market in the world for disc golf. But also having retailers in other countries as well is a great.
You've got Leon in our chat saying, Iran, we need to chat, and this will be about trying to get your discs into the country as soon as possible, and how they'll be able to help. We've also got Johnny Ferrari saying, hey Ollie, long time no see.
Hello Johnny, how you doing? Good to see you again.
And then we have Robbie Gill. I think I know the answer to this, but Robbie Gill says, Ollie, any plans to team up with Trash Panda for a recycled team up?
So we first reached out to Trash Panda when we were doing our prototype, and they didn't say much. Then I sent them a sample anyway, one of our prototypes. And I don't know if you follow Trash Panda, but they did do a video of the sea turtle. I think they threw it once, maybe twice, and they said it was great. They mentioned a few good things about it, and then they were basically encouraging us to increase the recycled plastic percentage from 60% to 100%, and saying, you can do it, and we think we can do it as well now that we know what we know from the first one. And they were basically being supportive and saying, if you need any help, then we're here to help you with it.
Cool.
To answer your question specifically in terms of teaming up and making a mold or a disc together, I think we're probably a long way off from that for the time being. Doesn't mean it won't happen in the future, but I think we're in the same space of recycling with sustainability in disc golf, and here to help each other out. But at the other hand, we're also competing companies trying to compete in the same space, although we have different molds and different plastics. So yes, we're open to the opportunity of working with them and doing something. Obviously, they have the machine, and they've got everything to make the discs. So, if we were able to buy a mold or send them some plastic their way, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to work on something together. How that will work out and whether it'd be viable for both of us, again, totally subjective and hypothetical at this stage.
Yeah, see how that comes out down the track, if it ever does.
Look, Olli, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show and having this chat about the sea turtle. It's been great. Just once more, show up the giveaway disc if you've got it there. So this one is a transitional, Morgan, you're gonna have to remind me, limited edition, one of a kind, transitional ocean discs, Pacific sea turtle, made of 60% ocean waste plastic. Will be swimming its way to somebody who wins the giveaway, and all you need to do is put in what is the name of that disc. We said the sea turtle before, but we'll say it again. Put the name sea turtle into the comments, into the chat, and you'll go into the draw. Remember that Patreons get extra entries, so yeah, there you go. Morgan's just reminded everybody what it is. It looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I've put my entry in. People will say it's a fix if I win, but you never know. We do it at random. We'll be doing the draw a little bit later on tonight, so you've got a little bit of time before then. But Olli, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been great to hear about the process, about your journey, about ocean discs and what you're doing and what you're producing. It's great, and promise me you'll come on again when you've got when your next mold comes out.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure. Nice to meet you, Matt, and good to see you again, Morgan.
Yeah, mate.
Tom, nice to meet you.
Really good to see you again, bro. It's definitely been too long. So yeah, let's have you back on the show again in the not too distant future, man, for another catch up.
That's good. See you soon, guys.
Awesome. Appreciate you, man. You have
Cheers,
a great
Olli.
morning.
Have a great day. Go.
See you. Bye.
Right, exciting stuff, Morgan.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's pretty cool having, we obviously have great guests on all the time, but when we can bring someone who's not just from another country, but actually really in depth into the sport on so many different levels, and actually get to chat to them about what they're passionate about and what they're doing for the sport, and for other things, is just awesome.
Right. let's get on with some of the regular features.
You want to start the show?
Yeah, indeed. Let's get on with hot scores. Morgan, you're up.
Yeah, sorry, I definitely wasn't ready for that. I'm nearly there. There we go. Phone. We're going to go with the phone this week. Right, hot scores for the first time in what seems an absolute age. We are headed back down to Queen's Park where Mr. BVB, Barry Van Beek, gets the job done with a 13 under par this week. Why don't I just put that right there? That's much better. Chingford Park and Brockville see both see Kelvin Cummings taking down the hot score this week. 6 down apiece, but at Brockville he's joined by Liam and Darren. So 6 down at Brockville for Liam, Darren and Kelvin, and 6 down at Chingford for Kelvin as well. Queenstown Gardens, my neck of the woods, 9 down for Jack and Mitch. Ollie Webb gets the job done at Lismore this week with a 44, 11 under par. Jelly Park sees Ben Schicker with an 11 under par. Phil Bother shoots a hot 12 down at Warren Park this week. KBG with a 12 down at Smallbone Reserve. Queen's Park Reserve still up in Christchurch Way. Robbie Talbot with a 21, 6 under par through the 9-hole course. Stephen Dorey with a 2 over par. And Alex Batten, who I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend down at the Flight Park Open, shoots a smoking hot 14 under par at Brantford to finish off south. How are you looking up north?
Looking great up north. Starting in the capital, will Brady Cush, Simon Fogarty, and Ben Morrison can't decide who's best, tying as they have done on 4 under par. In the hills, over the water at Hikoikoi, Andy Davies 5 down is enough to take it out, and 5 down was also enough. 3 down was enough for KJ Carrick and Pedro to hit the hot score at Harkle Park in Upper Hutt. Up the country to Linklater, Johnny Wake hits 6 down in Palmerston North, and up at Maryland's Louis Hickson hits 3 under par in Newcastle. Cross country do Topor and Steve Lawson and Callum Petman tie around Spa Park Black, going 1 under par. Byron Salisbury hits 13 under at Henderson, and Jacko Sullivan hits 7 under and 8 under at Wood Hill and Rosedale. He's joined on 8 down by Chris Corbin this week. So well done to everybody who took out a hot score this week. Plenty of events been going on last couple of weeks, Morgan, that we need to cover.
We're coming out the back end of winter, and not that it's been a quiet season, but we're definitely starting to pump things. We're going to head over to the Hagley Huck, which happened which happened not this weekend just gone, but the weekend before, Matt.
It did, yeah. So this was an interesting kind of setup, this tournament, because this Avery Jenkins came back to New Zealand temporarily for a week or two to help design or redesign or tweak, if you like, the Hagley course that was used for GCO last year.
Yep.
And I think there were a number of different tweaks made.
Quite a lot of tweaks. I think they only ended up with around 4 or 5 of the same holes. And then they've gone off in a completely... Okay. Yeah, that's correct, Tom. Yeah. And then they've gone off on a completely different tangent. I believe I'm not sure if it was hole 1 or hole 18 is like on the gold layout for when they have tournaments goes from where HQ was all the way back to the Riccarton Road corner is what I'm hearing. It's like 600 meters. Am I exaggerating that, Tom? Yes, it's true. Wow. Yeah. Sorry, you guys couldn't hear Tom, but he goes, Morgan, you are absolutely perfectly correct for the gold layout.
I hope they keep hole 17, honestly, because that's a horrid hole. The tunnel with the through the trees. I hope they keep that hole. That's a horrid hole, but it's a very good disc golf hole, right? Tons of score separation, and that was great. So hopefully they've kept that. But anyway, let's go through the results from the weekend. Sebastian Faulkner beats Avery Jenkins in a playoff. I hear this went to 4 holes.
4 holes.
So incredible performance by Sebastian, and he takes away the dub. Ashton Clark finishes 3rd, and Willie Taratana 4th. And then Sam Lykin rounds out the top 5.
Good to see Sam Lykin back up there now in an MPO setting.
It's worth saying Ashton Clark, third in MPO, fourth overall. We'll get to MA1 in a minute. But some good performances there. And in FPO, LK Elise Robham, which is a new name for us, Estonian, I think. She's here. She's played a few events over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, she wins by a shot over Megan Merrick, holding off in the final round. Raina Pai wins in MA1 by 5 shots over Magnus Davidson. This guy, this kid. We've got to look out for Magnus. I mean, we've known about him for some time, but like, how old is he? 13, 14?
Somewhere around that range, yeah. Somewhere in that range. I think Arne actually did tell me 1 or 2 shows ago.
Early teens, and his 981 first round is incredible. So well done to him. Down into MA40, the best division, and Andrew Inch takes out the win here by a shot over Jamie Hells and Kurt Graham. And in FA40, it's Marie Cummings who takes out the win. She's had a number of wins.
She has. She's been playing really well
recently. In fact, that's her 4th win. Not her 4th win on the bounce, but her 4th win on the bounce in FA40. She obviously won the Women's Global event down in Invercargill. She won Nottingham Giants and Sub-Zero all in the FA40 division. So well done to Marie for making it 4 in a row. In MA50, Gregor Brosnahan. Can anyone stop this guy in MA50? Genuine question.
Until they do, they can't. No.
But yeah,
he's the Levi of the 50s.
He is. He's beats out Leon Botta into second and Andrew Faulkner into third. FA50, Janine Frost wins by 5 shots over Donna Cormack, and in MA2, Logan MacArthur wins quite comfortably with a score of even over Blake Whelan and shooting 943 and 932 respectively for first and second rounds.
Very nice
by Logan. MA3, Cam Gow. MA3 played a slightly shortened course from the other mixed divisions. Shoots 8 down on the shorter course. And in FA3 and 4, Holly Norris and Alexandra Luafutu take out the wins here. Bailey Gardner with a very good performance, the best performance on the shortened course at 11 under par, 935 rated, which is good to see. Mackenzie Craig edges out Lily Mackenzie in FJ18.
Just while we're looking at the screen, actually, I've just jumped over onto YouTube and we can't see the sides of the screen on this, but on my screen, looking at the PDGA, there's something that's just glaring at me that Arne and I didn't really go over while you were away, and it was Worlds.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, we had some new world champions whilst we were away. Yeah, so,
we did. I'm looking at them on my screen. I was like, we didn't really go over this.
We didn't really. Maybe we should go into that in a little bit more detail on another show, because we might be a bit up against it today, but we'll
copy that. Right, moving right along. Shall we head on over to hitting the links, please, Tom?
So, hitting the links. This is a tournament. That I played. This was done in September. I played in the one in July, I think it was, where it was just it wasn't a sanctioned event. It was a UDIS run event by the guys at MTDG, and Chris Clark, Ryan Kiddo, etc. And can I tell you, this course, I really, really like this course. Okay, really like this course, and the reasons I like it. There's a lot. It flows well from one hole to the next. There's lots of room in between the pins and the tees, so you get very little crossover. There's very little in the way of hold-ups. Perhaps just one corner that you towards the back end that you might get a bit held up on. But also, a lot of the holes give a kind of the range of birdie to bogey seemed to me, and I haven't done the analysis, but it seemed to me to be quite wide, so a relatively high standard deviation, right? So so the opportunity to take a birdie or a bogey on each hole is really good. So the guys at MTDG have done a great job in the design of this course. It's on Linton Army Camp, right? So you can't just sort of turn up with a bag of beers and get going. You've got to kind of book in advance and make sure it's open and make sure that like it's right, and they're kind of open on the day. So make sure that if you want to play the course, then you'll need to get in contact with someone who's got like a
military ID.
That's right. A bunch of people have.
Yeah.
And so if you hit up any of the MTDG crew, then they will get you involved with that if you're in the area and it's on a date that they can do it. But anyway, this was the first sanctioned event that they ran. And that man, Johnny Wake, takes out the win by 7 shots over the General Young Ha. And then over Tim Wilson and Joel Simpson in third.
2005 rated first round. Very nice,
Yeah.
Mr. Johnny. Very nice.
Very nice to see. Very nice to see. Down in FA1, Michaela Kerr wins this by 3 shots over Katie Hoffman. Down in MA40, the best division, Dan Smith wins by 3 shots over Phil McLeod and Gary Jarvis. I see a lot of Wellingtonians in there. Certainly with an MA40, a lot of Wellingtonians playing. FA40, Amy Whitmore takes out the win here and wins for Best Lady overall by 2 shots over Kath Headley. Cannon Larson wins by a shot. I think you mentioned him in the show a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
In MA3. He beats out Andrew Lecoq and Ben Cornell.
I literally called him out because I don't know him. I said, that guy's going to win because his name is sick.
He does have a cannon of an arm.
That was all I had to go off of.
Yeah, Kieran McLeod narrowly beats out his younger sister by 4 shots in MJ18 as well. I think they're looking at doing one of these like every week, not every week, every month or every other month or something. So look out for them because if you're in the area, great course, 18 holes. Definitely get involved and hit up one of the team to play. It's well worth it.
All right, so
Let's
moving right along.
look.
Disconnection Black Ice Duel, the final meltdown.
This is it. And what did we see? We saw Levi versus Francis for the 3rd time in recent weeks. Levi taking out the win pretty handsomely here, making it 2-1 to Levi.
Yeah, Francis shooting a pretty hot second round there, 53, 10, 20, 10
right.
20 rated. Just left a little bit too much meat on the bone after round 1.
That's right. I can imagine he was perhaps a bit frustrated with a 955 rated round because obviously we know that he's capable of shooting multiple 10, 1,000 rated rounds in a row. Yep. So but anyway, takes out the win there, catches up Ethan Stout and Jack Maffey and Sergei Sanin to overtake all of them to take out 2nd place. Ethan finishes in 3rd, Jack Maffey in 4th. I tell you what, Jack Maffey, he's been playing really well recently. Eh?
He puts in a lot more work than most people that I know.
Yeah,
it's good.
And
he's good. He's really good.
We'll have a look at the power rankings a little bit later, because the power rankings we will include all of these results, but it'll also, the last time we updated the power rankings was when Phil Botter won the Small Bones Slam, was it? And so that was what seems like months ago now. And so we've had a bunch of tournaments since then. So we'll update the power rankings and we'll see how everybody sits. That's in MPO. Down into MA1, Ewan Andrew wins by a shot over Jake, Michael and Logan MacArthur, and Connor Bishop round out the podium spots in MA1. Big MA1 field. Over in FA1, Alison Tweedy beats Nicola Stout by 11 shots, right? And get this, 960. That's one of the best rated rounds. I know she's had 1,000 rated in the bag previously, but who's got the wrong tournament? Did I have the wrong tournament?
What are you looking at? Are you looking at the Disconnection Black Ice Duel?
Yeah, the final meltdown, the second one. That's
You're on the midwinter one. Sorry,
midwinter.
I didn't pick that up because it's a lot easier for me to look at the PDJ page on
Yeah,
the
I'm the same.
computer.
There we are. That's okay. 81600. Alison Tweedy wins by 11 shots. 960 rated first round, Morgan.
Yeah. Super great round, eh? Super great round. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing her play this weekend because we know that she's winning all of the putting events in Invercargill, all of the leagues down there. She's been smashing everyone. So I want to see if all of these shots are actually being made up on the green or if she's getting herself close to the basket every time.
I see. Yeah. Well, that'll be something that you'll be able to analyze this weekend.
Yeah, she's playing MA2 this weekend, interestingly.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that will also be an interesting test because I likely she'll come up against players who of a different type of game, right?
Absolutely.
So she'll come up against people with bigger arms than not necessarily better in inverted commas players, but players with who can throw further. I suspect. All right. But yes, that'll be interesting. FA2, Sue Brown wins quite handsomely over Marie Cummings and Rowan Simmons in FA2. FA3, Tui Smith competes, and in MA4, Wayne Gill wins by 4 shots over Shay Barrable and B. William Jones.
God, that's a big MA4 field.
That is a huge MA4 field. Yeah.
Hang on, MA1. Oh, Roger, sorry, I just scrolled. There's only MA1 and MA4. Gotcha.
MA1 and MA4.
Yeah, gotcha.
So well done to Wayne. So we've got quite a few. There's been quite a few. Where are we? Tournaments recently. Now you've got the Flight Park Open coming up this weekend. Hopefully we can get that up on the screen.
Got that up? Yep, we do. Yep.
Excellent. And so, Morgan,
Matt,
some interesting stuff happening in MPO that I can see here. Right. First up, there's a couple of talking points. Mikey Yu in MPO.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen him compete for a bit. I think his last tournament was in March, so we're looking at sort of 5-6 months ago, where he finished third at the Garden City Open. But prior to that, he won Queenstown Classic. He in MPO, he won Paradise Plates in MP40. He won Bottle Lake in MP40. He won Nationals in MP40. So a good year all round. And he's won over $2,000 in cash this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't feel like it because he's not played in a sanctioned event for.
Got all his work done early.
He has. But it's good to see him back this weekend. Someone else who's back this weekend is Ben Willake.
Sure is, back from his Japan trip.
Indeed, and I don't know if Ben's competed this year yet. I don't think he has.
Only in Japan.
Only in Japan. Okay. And many Japanese events aren't PDJ sanctioned, so it maybe wouldn't appear on here. So that's interesting. Also good to see Bray Marsden competing in MPO again.
Yep.
And you'll be on the same card as him on Saturday, won't you?
Yep, Saturday, round 1. We are starting off together. Myself, him, Roddy, and Andy. Yes, looking forward to that. It's a good card.
In FPO, Echo and Victoria go head to head once again. That's turning out to be quite a competitive little grudge match almost there between the two. And in MP40, David Keane. We've not seen David Keane compete for some time.
He hasn't played a tournament round, I think. Actually, I want to quote him here. Stand by. He said, "I have not played a competitive round in 2 years."
Oh, wow. Okay, so it was interesting.
In a tournament setting.
It'll be interesting to see how he comes back against Roddy McKay and Peter McKay, who have both been playing very well, and Chris Dixon we know is capable of winning that division as well. So that's going to be quite a tight division.
Well, he's living back down by the street of struggle, so
yeah,
I'm assuming he's getting in a lot of play with the boys. These boys are out there. The Struggle Street crew are out there playing every single night. They have been for as long as I can remember now. They're out there right now. So I don't know. I don't think Dave's going to have any trouble on the course. I think if anything happens, it'll be a mental lapse. It won't be a lack of ability.
No, absolutely not. I played Struggle Street when I came down to Queenstown that one time. That was great fun. I really enjoyed that. Over into MA1, and Ben Quinn goes into this tournament as the highest rated player, 5 points over Kyle Barringer and Stefano Macchi.
I think he's got a bit of a tall task ahead of him there. As much as I think Ben is probably almost the best MA1 player out there at the moment, at least down this neck of the woods, Kyle and Stefano have been killing it at Fly Park recently. Like, killing it. Big scores, 12s, 13s.
Okay, excellent. Well, it'd be interesting to see whether they can take that that casual round performance into competitive rounds, and you add the extra pressure of it being
totally
into FA1, and Alexa, Hannah, and Jessie go head to head in FA1. Should be a good battle there. In MA40,
Iran is back.
Iran. When was the last time Iran had a?
To be fair, I think he played Tuckers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then friend of the show, Arm Burgess, also competing in MA40. Seeing how this division shakes out. Competitive MA50, but Mark Tebbett looks to be favourite here, barring any upsets. And in MA2, Alison Tweedy is the highest rated player in this division, and she's going up against how many? 4, 8, 12 other guys to see and we'll see how she gets on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think she just. I've spoken to her folks, and there's a few different reasons for the move, but one of them is just a change of scenery and just to test the waters against some different competitors, I suppose.
I think it's a really good idea, right? Especially in a tournament like Flight Park Open, right? Which is a Silver Series event, so it's not a major, it's not what you might call one of the larger tour events, right?
No.
But it's a great opportunity to put yourself into a situation which is different and that is outside of your comfort zone potentially, right? Now, there'll be people out there saying she won't be outside of her comfort zone because she'll play her own game and kick everyone's ass. And do you know what? If that happens, then brilliant. But until it's tested, then it's very difficult to be able to kind of say that with any kind of any confidence. I have her confidence. So yeah, look forward to seeing how that's going to in MJ18. Connor Rance looks to be the favourite in a 3-player division in MJ18. Right, now let's have a look at what should we do? Should we play some Discdle? Can we play some Discdle? Is now a good?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't. Have you been playing? Because I have not at all. I've been sucked into GeoGuessr recently.
Okay, I played it. I played today, but not the one we're going to do now. I played the one that was like, because it resets at 4 p.m. I think I played the one
4 p.m.
Before 4 p.m. And so yeah, we'll see if we'll get it up on screen and we'll see how we're doing.
Yeah.
So
Tom, are you able to change our background screen so we can see it on here in real time, please? Okay.
What, Morgan? Where should we start?
Let me start. Let's go. I always go left of field rather than what most people do and go up the guts. I'd like to start down the bottom, please. I would like to start with a rhino.
Extreme.
Oh, no run. Oh, there we go. Yeah, with a Y.
Right. Speed. Wow.
Oh,
Okay, you got that right. That's good. So the manufacturer's not right. It's a higher glide. I think is a Keystone speed 2? I think it is. We'll try Keystone, shall we? That's what I've heard. Okay. So it's a lower. So we know it's a fade 2, and it's a turn 0. So and it's less than a 5, greater than a 1. So it's a 2, something 0 2. Not in
2 something saying 0 2.
not in a latitude.
Let's go with a Shogun.
Shogun. Okay.
See if it's a Discmania.
You're almost guessing just the manufacturer here, right? Oh, look at this. So we knew it was 0 2. So now we know it's less than 4, greater than 1. So it's going to be either a 2 or a 3 glide. Louis Hickson, is saying anode, and he's the man at this. So let's.
Oh man, if that's the brand, the model, sorry, the make, I'm out. Send it for Louis.
Oh, it's not quite. An anode is slightly different, but the glide is right. So we're looking for a 2302. 2302. Robbie, it won't be a tax.
What's that in?
Because RPM aren't one of the manufacturers featured in here, although it might be.
What is that in Discraft? 2 3. I'm so bad with Discraft.
Challenger OS, maybe. Like, I don't know. And I think the normal challenge is too straight. Yeah, no, it's definitely not SS. It's OS, I think, out of those 3, but I mean, it might not be Challenger.
Run it. Oh,
it was close. It was close.
So is that just the other Challenger?
Nah, because the other challenge is like 0 1 or even -1 1, I think, and a higher glide from memory. Matt Rance is saying take the hint, but honestly, we know what the flight numbers are. The only hint it can give us is the name of the disc. So, all right,
Bray's in the chat going OG challenge, Challenger, OG challenge.
Louis Hickson is saying focus. Is a focus a speed 2 or a speed 1? I know it won't be speed 1. Yeah, let's try focus.
I'm out at this point with Discraft. This is our last guess.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, well, let's look.
Give us the hint. Let's have a look.
Let's see the hint. Does using the hint use up again? Well, thanks. No use. Okay, let's go with focus then, because it's got.
Challenge OG is 2302.
It was a challenger. Oh my word!
Bray is just gonna fire up even more in the chat right now.
Oh my word! And that was my bad, my fault, because I did say, but never mind, doesn't count now. Oh well, another one of them next week. Let's have a look at. Have we been playing Disc Golf Valley today? Who's been playing?
Yes, we
Disc Golf
have.
Valley? I played today, and as you'll see by my ability on Disc Golf Valley is pathetic, quite honestly. I don't know if it's up on screen yet, but it is.
Oh, it is.
My ability to play Disc Golf Valley is very poor, as you'll see. I think I shot +3.
Oh, there we go.
We've got some better scores here, I think. What have we got? Kelvin on 7 down. That's pretty good.
Is my score still in there?
Louis with 9 down.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I got an 8 down. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is on there.
Very well done. So Louis with 8 down, Louis with 9 down, Morgan with 8 down, and then Kelvin and someone else gets 7, I think.
I hit that stupid tree on the very last hole and dropped into the pond and then threw it in for par.
Huh. Sweet Chain Music, the one with the Union flag is me, and Sweet Chain Live is Tom, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. While we're looking for things to have a quick chat about right here, Matt, I think this was the perfect time to just drop in a shameless plug for Altitude Brewing, where this is it's the ex-Wahitapu beer that's behind me, but we did brand it as Drop Zone last year. Today, at about 2:30 in the afternoon, they started rolling off of the canning machine straight from the tank. This was the first one out of the tank. I got handed that and obviously smashed it right then and there in the brewery. Mm-hmm. If you know our previous beer, it's exactly the same, but juicier, which is the exact terminology I used when they said, do you want to change it this year? I said, same, make it juicier, more bold and colorful is what I wanted. And I tell you what, they absolutely hit the nail on the head. So this isn't going out into the shops. If you want to get a hold of this, you'll need to jump on their website, or you'll need to come to any of my Elite Silver Series or Generation events that are upcoming to get your hands on some, basically. But I'll be dropping a promo code for a discount for all you good disc golfers out there very soon when it gets sent to me.
Fantastic. Now, there's been a bit of an update because we are hurtling towards 2025. I don't know if you've noticed this in the years been going on. We are progressing well, and that means PDGA membership time. And I don't know if you've seen this. They've released the prices for PDGA membership for next year, and so you can see here that it's for a junior member is $20, and this will be US dollars prices, right? So you've got to multiply this by, like, I don't know, whatever you 1.5 or whatever. Amateur is $20 and $30 for professional. I don't actually know how this compares to last year. Do you know?
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you know how much you paid last year? Because I don't.
I think $20.
It's just something I just pay at this point.
Yeah, I think $20 is what I've always paid, honestly.
For an amateur one, I feel like mine's up around the $80 mark.
Really?
Has been.
Oh, do you get the?
I mean, I've got a pro. I got a pro. No, I don't. I've got a pro one, but I feel like mine's been up around the $80 mark though. New NZD.
But anyway, make sure that you get that because if you're playing in an A tier or I think it's even B tiers now, you need to have a current valid PDGA membership. So if you're going to hit any of the A or B tiers that are coming up in the new year, and there's a few.
I don't know if that's going to be out here or if that's just.
Oh, really? Okay.
USA. I haven't seen that, but I could be wrong. One thing I have seen, Matt, is the number 399 on the bottom left-hand side of my YouTube screen.
Yeah, right. Someone's going
to. Who is going to be number 400 so we can get this discovery, this giveaway going? Who's it going to be? Who's out? There's got to be someone in here that's not subscribed.
Iran saying that he's number 400, so we'll see whether that's true, whether that comes through, or it'll come through very shortly. Should we actually do the giveaway of the sea turtle? Tom, how many entries have we got for the sea turtle? 47 entries, and you've doubled up the entries or tripled up the entries or whatever for the people who are Patreon members, I hope. Excellent. So have a look at. We're just going to spin the wheel up on the screen.
Thank you very much to our brand new Patreon subscribers as of this week. We picked up a handful, and we're very appreciative of this.
Yeah, it really does make a huge difference because, I mean, in time we'll be able to improve stuff on the show, give stuff back to everybody, but also there are some benefits that are available. One of the benefits I can tell you about now for the professional level, actually, which we're launching, is that if you're a professional tier on Patreon, you'll be able to join us in the green room every week. So you'll be able to meet the guests, you'll be able to see how the show gets put together, and join us right up until the time that we go live. So yeah, if you want to be involved in that, then get involved. We've got a couple of last minute entries, Tom. I'm not sure whether you can get those added in, but yeah, you've got about 20 seconds to get your entries in. Plenty of people in there. I think Louis, you're already in there. And Hayden might be as well. So here we go. So spin that wheel. Who is it? Ben Quinn.
Hey.
Ben Quinn wins the sea turtle. So very well done, Ben. Will if you want to message Sweet Jane, we'll hook you up with Olli and we'll get that all sorted out. But yeah, there's a transitional, one of a kind. I know that Morgan put it in the chat earlier. Limited edition, one of a kind transitional ocean discs. Pacific sea turtle, maybe with 60% ocean waste plastic, heading your way. So congratulations, Ben.
There you go. It's back in the chat again.
Right, let's have a look at some upcoming events. Actually, let's do one more thing before upcoming events that we did last year, because I don't know whether you know this, Morgan, because I was looking this up the other day. I was actually on my holidays and I heard it in a on a radio, I think it was. Do you know how many days there are until Christmas?
Is it something like, hang on, I don't want to count, but I'm thinking like 80, 81.
There's 90 days till Christmas, right?
Yeah, we've got
90 days.
116 days till Thailand, so I was somewhere close to that.
Which is like no time at all. So anyway, we're going to be doing Secret Santa, which is what we did last year, you remember. So here are the dates that you need to have be aware of, right? So the launch will be on the 17th of October, right? So that's on the day that we'll send out the form that you fill out if you want to be involved in Secret Santa, and we'll explain all of the rules and like what you need to do and the minimum amounts and all that kind of stuff a little bit close to the time. But 17th of October is when it kicks off. 29th of November is the deadline, so you'll have about 5-6 weeks to sign up. And then on the 4th of December, you get sent your name, the name of the secret, your Secret Santa, and then you've got about 2 weeks then to send your packages out. There was lots of we had a lot of fun with this last year.
We did,
and I'm a sucker for a mystery box, so this kind of stuff was brilliant.
There was a ball of packages getting sent out and received last year, right?
There was some pretty good packages being sent out, I have to say. So anyway, we'll go through what if you're a bit worried about or not quite sure how it works, we'll go through it a little bit more detail a little bit closer to the time. But these are the dates you need to look out for. 17th of October is when we're launching. So that's in 3 weeks' time. And so on the show on the 17th, we'll talk you through who are a bit newer to it. So yeah.
We have just hit 403 subscribers.
Well, you know what that means, don't you, Morgan? That's another giveaway next week.
Yeah,
so that's not the giveaway. So we'll be doing a giveaway next week, and we'll let you know what that is. Right. Let's have a look at some upcoming events, shall we, and move on.
Yeah.
Calm down, Morgan. Right. Lots of upcoming events to go through. We've got the Flight Park Open this weekend. You've got a couple of spots left, is that right?
For this weekend? Nah, we close Red at 6 p.m. I got too much to do tomorrow. If you missed out, you missed out. Sorry, team. Gave you all the chances in the world.
There we go. Topol Thermal Throwdown, which is the week after, is also sold out. I am so looking forward to this event. It was brilliant last year. It sold out in 12 seconds or something earlier on this year. It's a brilliant event run by the guys up in Topol on a beautiful property run by a good bunch of guys who really know what they're doing. So yeah, and it's a pure AM event. It's just a proper good is how I would describe it. Then you've got Disc Golf South, Shorts in Spring down in Invercargill on the 5th of October. That's next weekend. That's the rego for that is open. South Island Masters Games in Nottingley. Weekend after that, Owaka is now open for registrations.
Adam's been down there with Tyler today, actually doing all the course mapping and things like that, and I've seen some pretty cool photos come through. There's some pretty sick holes. I'm pretty excited to go now that I've seen those photos. Not that I wasn't before, but I hadn't seen the true lay of the land, and it is sweet.
Well, get yourself involved in the in that event if you want. There's still space in that event. What else have we got? The
Extreme.
After that is the Extreme. Now there are a few places left, or at least on Disc Golf Scene, there's a few places left for the end of October. Now this is being sponsored by MVP, so a fairly high-profile manufacturer coming on board there, which is great to see. And it's the guys at Disc Shop running it, so it's going to be a good event. So if you haven't got a spot, there are, I think, about half a dozen left. So get involved. Wahitapu is on in the first weekend of November. Then the weekend after that is Moonbase 10 South Island Champs. Still plenty of spots left for that. Weekend after that is a double header in Faultline Fury and Auckland Disc Golf Champs. Auckland is sold out. I believe there are still places left at Faultline. It's not being the regos. It is a sanctioned event, Faultline Fury, but it's not being the rego isn't being done through Disc Golf Scene. So if you want to get involved in there, you've got to fill out a Google form and then message CAF with the details. It's all on the Google form, so they'll let you know. Temuka Tussle registration for that opens on the 27th of September tomorrow. Day at the Lake in Tianao, that's sold out more.
Yeah, man. Everyone's stoked to get back down to Tianao. The so again, going back to the Elite Silver Series stuff, this is the final one, and fortunately for him, and unfortunately, is I found out first-time tournament director Vedant Sharma has had to quickly up and pack bags and leave town because he got offered a really, really good job at another place. So the reins have fallen back into the lap of assistant TD Grant Chapman, who is the club chairman down there. Very capable hands. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with the event.
Okay, excellent. So that we'll look forward to that. That's in the 7th of December. Of this year. You've got the Rising Stars Open, which is a junior event in Topor on the 8th of December. Lots of junior events popping up. I know Wellington ran one with success a few weeks ago. I think it was 18 juniors there. Topor did one a few weeks ago, a few weeks before that as well. And Topor doing another one in early December. I think it's $20 to enter, something like that. Brilliant.
Great.
So yeah, if you're a junior or in or around Topor that weekend, then get involved. Then is the Rapper Rumble up in Masterton. Still plenty of spots left for that, which surprises me really. It's a great tournament on a lovely property in Henley Lake in Masterton in mid-December. And then it comes the Tour Down Under as we head into January. So 3 of the 4 events have been announced. You've got Egg Monster, which is the first one, being run on the 10th to the 12th of January. That's in at Inglewood. Being run by the golf club in Inglewood, so that's going to be interesting. Now, registration for that event opened today, and yet there's a few spaces have gone, and you never know with a Tour Down Under who you might end up on the same card as. So yeah,
they've got 16 sponsor spots saved there, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean it'd be interesting to see who they fill those with. Several pros came down last year, so we'll see how that happens. The weekend after that is a Topor Classic, so relatively easy to get between the two, right? You got a week or so to get from Taranaki to Topor, so pretty easy to do. And that's on the 17th and the 19th of July. This registration opened today as well. It's tiered registration, so you need to be, I think, 900 rated for, well, at least MA40, I think 920 for the pro divisions. And then the next tier opens next week, I think. The Topol Classic is an A tier, and the Egg Monster is a B tier. The third TDU event is on the 25th to the 27th of January. The location hasn't been announced yet. Morgan, if you were a betting man, where do you think it's going to be?
Oh, I thought they did announce it.
Oh, they?
I feel like I've seen it somewhere. I'm just having a look.
It's not on Disc Golf Scene. Yeah, it's not on Disc Golf Scene yet. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I suspect this will be in Auckland because it's on their anniversary weekend. And there's often a.
Don't they usually do? What's that course where they don't do it very often on the fancy grounds? Oh my gosh, that name is evading me, and that's going to kill me because I'll get it as soon as the show shuts down. There's like a. Yeah, no, I'm going to explain it terribly. We'll find out soon enough. Stay tuned.
We will. We will find out. And then the final event is in Christchurch 2 weeks later. So actually, if you're someone who's going to want to get sort of travel around, and you've got a bit of time, and you've got a bit of time time off during that time. Actually, it's pretty easy to get to get around, to get from Taranaki to Taupo to potentially Auckland in those times, and then you've got 2 weeks to get down to Christchurch. So I mean, travel wise, it's perhaps a little bit easier for the traveling disc golfer.
I think I'm going to play nationals next year.
You're going to play national 2025.
Yep. I think so. Yeah. Well, we fly back in on the Wednesday, and I think it starts on Thursday.
That's right. So it starts on the 6th of February, which is Waitangi Day, which is the public holiday.
Yeah, exactly. So as I said to Adam, I was like, "What's the point in going home? We might as well just stay in Christchurch." Because we fly into Christchurch when we come back, so it's right there. Yeah, Monte Cecilia or Mont Cecilia, however it comes up. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So it could well be there. We shall have to see. Roxburgh Open is on the middle of February. Weekend after that, the Smash, and then we head into March with Paradise Place, Dystopia, Seafarer, and Lords and Ladies of Lismore are super organised.
I believe the Queenstown Classic has a date as well. I just don't know if it's been announced.
I'm using Disc Golf Scene as my source for most of these,
fair.
so may not be on there yet, but we shall see.
March 22nd.
Pierce coming. March 22nd. Okay. Stephen Dory in the chat saying Paige Pierce coming for the TDU. Remains to be seen. We shall see.
Yeah, the Queenstown Classic's the 30th annual next year. So it wouldn't surprise me if it does back off of Paradise Plates to form a 2-week situation coming on down south.
Right, let's head over. Stephen, not to just sort of glaze over your rumor there. We shall. I'm sure we shall see some announcements being made as soon as everything gets confirmed. It's still kind of not mid-season, but still very much the business end of the season over in the States.
Totally.
So I doubt anybody will be confirming plans or looking that far ahead when they've got important tournaments to play in. But we shall see what happens. We'll be watching and listening out for anything that we can find. Let's have a look at some power rankings.
The power rankings are back, ladies and gentlemen.
So Alison Tweedy climbs 2 spaces up to 3rd, and Amy Whitmore is up 1 spot to 5th. Further down, Sue Brown is up 10 spots to 14th. And LK Elise Robham and Janine Frost climb into the top 20. Within the MPO division, there's no change at the top. Ethan Stout climbs 3 spaces up to 9th. Ollie Webb is up 4 to 10. Jack Maffey up 19 to 11. And Andy Davey climbs 283 places. Now, the reason why that looks like such an outrageous number is that he fell off of the rankings due to the number of events played. And then at the most recent event that he played, which was the Carpety Knees Up, he has played the required number of events again, and so has re-entered the power rankings, which is why you see it jumping around a little bit. But his numbers will become more consistent, as I think he's got 3 or at least 2 events coming up. So yeah, we shall see. So yeah, I think that's about it from us for today. Thank you for joining us. We've got a few things in the pipeline for next week's show, so listen out and keep an eye out on our socials for what's going to be featured there. Just as a final note, thank you so much to our Patreons for their ongoing support. If you want to be involved in becoming a Patreon, head over to SweetChain, patreon.com/SweetChainLive, and you can get involved. And Morgan, Flight Park Open this weekend.
Flight Park Open. Time to spread those wings. Let's go. Looking forward to it.
Very best of luck with the rest of the organising and everything, the logistics that go into making a weekend down there. And very best of luck to everybody playing in the Flight Park Open. And wherever you're playing disc golf, take it easy. Play well. Get some birdies. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.